And here we have a Cobra 139 XLR. This is a 40-channel AM sideband radio. Uses one of my probably more favorite main chassis. This is uses the Uniden chassis that has a UPD 858 PLL. It's basically the exact same radio as a Cobra 138 XLR. With one exception that this customer wanted to see if I could remedy, And the big difference, not the power supply, it's not something like that. There's usually, if there are controls missing, when there's a base station and a mobile version, usually the controls will be missing on the mobile radio, because smaller radio, less room to stick shit, which kind of makes sense. But it's the exact opposite with this radio. And what's missing off of this that is on the Cobra 138 XLR is a tone control. And this customer said, yeah, my ears aren't like they used to be, and it'd be nice if I could adjust the tone on it. And asked if I could install that. So, yes, I can. Now, I've already recapped this radio. I still need to do a few other things. I have to completely pull the entire faceplate off, pop the speaker out, and replace the grill cloth in here because it's got a couple holes in it. That's actually not that hard. So his question was, can I add a tone control? And the answer is absolutely yes. So what I want to do is show you, if you want to install a tone control on a Cobra 139 XLR chassis, what you have to do. Because like I say, this is the exact same radio as a 138 XLR, so all you need to do is copy what they did in the 138 XLR. So let's get the radio flipped up so we can actually see the volume control on it, because that's where we're going to tap in to put our tone control. So, okay, let's get positioned here. So here's the volume control right here. It's the second control in. First one's a dynamic, second one is the on-off and volume. Now you'll see there's an orange and black wire here. We don't need to worry about those. Those are the power wires. What we're worried about are these two coax cables. There's a yellow and a white one. Don't mind the colors, because that can vary. You never you never want to use a color, a wire color as a rock solid fact, because somebody might have decided to use a different color that day. But if you look down here, you'll see that the shield on both of them goes to one side, one leg right here. Then one coax cable has its center, the actual conductor goes to the center of the pot, and the other one goes to the outside leg of the pot. Now the way they have them wired in the 138s, I can actually show you on the schematics. I have both factory schematics. The first factory schematic is the one that's in the service manual, and this service manual was actually made for Cobra by Sam's. You look right down here, Howard W. Sam's. Now this one's actually a little bit, I don't want to say it's harder to follow, but it's not quite as easy to follow as the one I'll show you next. I just want to show you both of them. So let's see, the top one here, okay, this is the 138, which is what we want to do. So on this schematic, let me come down here just a hair so you can actually see what we're doing. So here is the tone control in a Cobra 138. So what you're going to need is a 20K pot and a 0.1 microfarad capacitor. That's it, and some wire. But other than that, that's it. And what you're doing is you're basically bleeding off some of that frequency to ground through this circuit. So when a pot's turned in one direction, it's basically, it's a high resistance, really not doing anything. And then the farther you get in resistance, the more your frequencies actually get bled to ground. But that's the tone control. So you can see right here where it joins up. So right after FET3, which is the squelch gate in these, there's a tantalum capacitor. And then you can see that little circle around that line with a ground lead. That's actually that coax cable that you see coming over to the volume pot. So you can see the one leg of the volume pot. That's the one that has the shields from the coax cables, goes to ground. So we're going to be tapping in right there where this goes to the other side of that pot. All you need to do is solder a wire or actually the easiest, and it depends where you're going to mount your potentiometer at, but basically you're just going to stick a capacitor from here to this new pot, and that's it. And then if you look at the 139, you can see that all of that is missing. So here's the volume control, and you can see it comes straight over to FET3. So it comes right here, and there's no volume pot in between this electrolytic capacitor and the volume control here. You can see there's nothing, there's no tone control. So that's all you need to do. You just need to add this little circuit right here. And then the other schematic, which I assume was probably drawn by the Cobra engineers when they designed the radio. At some point, like I say, Cobra started making, or Sam started making all of Cobra's service manuals. But there were always two versions of the schematics. There were the ones in the service manual, and then there were these little critters. And these little critters are usually, this is the paperwork that would have come with the radios when you bought them brand new. You'd have the owner's manual, you know, it's that first thing to get lost, is the paperwork that comes with stuff. But these were the factory schematics that came with stuff back then. Had the parts list on one side and a schematic on the other. But again, we have a Cobra 138 XLR and 139 XLR. These are the factory original schematics. And get the camera back down here. Because actually with this one we can get both of them in the same picture. So you can see this one here we have 3 controls, and this one here there's only 2 controls. And what's missing right on that one is right there is the tone control. And you can see it just goes over and attaches right there to that lead. And this one it's missing. So that's all you need to do is go from that lead right there to the capacitor and into a 20K pot. It's just that simple. Now you can mount it anywhere you want in the radio, but I thought I'd show this because anytime anybody asks a question, I always like to, if I can, try and do a video on it. That way, if maybe save somebody a few dollars, because something simple like that, most people, a lot of people can do that themselves, as long as you can find how to get stuff like a potentiometer and a capacitor, and you have a soldering iron, you got some basic soldering skills. It'd be very easy for you to do that yourself. So like I say, it's basically just a matter of soldering a wire to this side of the volume control, which is behind the that terminal strip right there. Just have to pick the radio up here a tad bit. So basically from here through a capacitor to your new tone control, and then you can stick the tone control wherever you want. And that's it. So, like I say, just a really quick video, little tip on how to add a tone control to your Cobra 139 XLR. So I'll get that stuck in there, and like I say, I've got that to take care of, the speaker grill, and pretty much I think that was it other than the alignment. Oh, he wanted a headphone jack added to it. That's the other thing I have to do, add a headphone jack. So other than that, it'll be ready to go.